Here we go. Okay, guys, the day has come. In the makerspace, the Black History Month Museum is set up and ready to go. So we're going to go look at some stuff that has been turned in person, some things that people made, and then we're going to take some time to look at our digital Black History Month Museum. Okay, so let's get ready.
COVID sucks.
I agree. All right, here we go, kiddos. Now we're good. Y'all just let me walk around the school. Good Lord. Don't you know you people are in charge, not me? Gosh. Okay,
You
here we go.
walking around the school.
I was, you're right. Okay, I shared this with you guys at the beginning of February. Our decorations and such. Okay, here we go, guys. Look, here it is. All right, ready? Whew. Did you see that? My arm turns the lights on. Wasn't that amazing? Okay, so here we go. You can see these are artifacts that were made by in-person students or artifacts that were sent in and then turned in. So we're going to take a walk around and we'll focus on different parts. If you see something that you want to see closer or better or want me to read to you or something, just let me know and I will do that, okay? All right. Also tell me if my camera isn't in view. I'll do my best. All righty, here we go. So we have one exhibit here. This is about Christian Robinson, and it says Christian Robinson has illustrated 16 books. He graduated from the California Institute of Arts, and then you'll see here, it gives his process. So first he uses his imagination, then he makes sketches, and he actually makes them on Post-its. So then this classroom also took some time to practice their sketching on Post-its. And then it says he makes the pictures bigger and adds color. So in this classroom made their pictures bigger and added color. Okay. That's pretty cool. It's a whole class's exhibit there and their contribution. Alrighty, and we continue on here. We have Mae Jemison, Kara Walker. Kara Walker is a contemporary artist and a silhouettist. So a silhouette is what these are right here. It's when you take light and shine it on an object or a person and then trace the outline. And silhouettes usually appear in one standard color. And this is in the shadow color. So this class's silhouettes. They practice the type of art that she makes. Okay. Her art also usually consists of black or white paper. So she creates those silhouettes, those shadow looking effects like so. This one I think is pretty cool. They use light to create a background and then put the people walking there. So that's pretty cool. Okay. All right. Wangari Maathai. Let's see. Born and raised in Kenya, loves trees and promised to always protect them. So she is a biologist. It says that she won a scholarship to study biology. And when she went to Africa, she thought of how to keep forests safe there because they were being destroyed. Pretty cool. Alrighty. Here is the one I shared with you. This is the QR codes for the Black History Museum exhibit about Black chefs and the recipes that they make. All right. We have here love. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of cool. So it looks like they used the shades of their skin colors in the class, and each person chose a quote from a Black, I think all of these might be Americans, Black, yep, it looks like it, Black Americans, that they thought was important. Pretty cool. Okay. This focuses on African Americans who fought in the Revolutionary War. The Revolutionary War, I think we studied a little bit of it. You'll get a much deeper look at it in 5th grade, but the Revolutionary War is the war that got America its land and freedom from England. Okay, and we see more here. A lot of people make a very poor assumption that it was only white people who were involved in our history in that time. And as we can see here, that is clearly not true. We had many brave men and women who were Black that contributed to that as well. Okay. Alrighty, and then here we have 1st grade Black History Month projects. This I thought was beautiful. This is Queen Celia. She had a career that lasted 60 years, and she popularized Afro-Latino salsa music. Pretty cool. So I made a 3D model. And then here we have Miss Vice President Harris, who is famous for her chucks and pearls. So that's what we see here, along with some features of her photographs for her presidential campaign. And then it looks like the class also made their own strings of pearls. Pretty neat. Okay. We have a contribution to Alma Woodsy Thomas. This is from Miss Godbout's class. All right, and then we have 2 more on the walls, and then we will take a look at our longer tables. We have some friends joining us. Oh, that's an Aaron A. and a Maynard. Hi, guys. All right, here we go. We have Black History Project, Senora Darris. So in her classroom, each of the students selected one person of focus and completed a research project on them. So it appears that they each created their own individual poster. Okay, of Black leaders. Okay, this one we saw over there, Mae Jemison. She was an astronaut for NASA. So that's pretty cool. We saw an exhibit about her earlier. And then we have Misty Copeland, okay? Misty Copeland is a famous ballerina dancer. Okay, she's very, very, very good at what she does. So they made a portrait here, a whole portrait. And then right around here, each of the kids looked up a different fact about Misty Copeland of either her childhood or her current life, and they added those there.
So, Miss Sousa,
Yes.
Jane Johnson, she was the first African-American woman.
Yes, to be in NASA and fly into space. You are correct. Pretty cool. Hello. All right, here we go. So 6th grade, if you can see all of these, look at how many there are. It's amazing. 6th grade had a project where they worked on creating biographies of different Black Americans that display Black excellence. And so there's a lot of them. If you see one that you want me to pick up and take a look at, let me know. I'll kind of go a little bit slow here.
Pick up.
Malcolm X. Malcolm X.
Go back.
Malcolm X. All right. Malcolm X. Okay. Let me see if I can set this up. Okay. The Life and Times of Malcolm X. This is by Brian Ortega and Miss Stacy Harris's classroom. Okay. Here we go. All righty. So this is the early life of Malcolm X. Here's a photograph of him as a child. He was born in 1925. He has 10 siblings that he lived with in a foster home for most of his childhood. He had a total of 6 daughters, and he was married in 1958. He had 2 names as a kid, Malcolm Little and Malcolm X. His name was changed due to the fact that he grew up. He was assassinated on February 21st, 1965, and the location of the assassination was the Audubon Ballroom. Life and experiences. He was a very popular man during the Civil Rights Movement. He gave a really famous speech to Muslim people and won 6 awards after his death. He was killed in 1965 on February 21st in a ballroom. And then it goes on to give more information that we read about 6 daughters and 10 siblings. His mother and father's names were Earl Little and Louise Little. Okay, contributions of Malcolm X. It says, as you know from reading my biography, you might think he was simply a civil rights activist, but that is wrong. He led a unity rally in Harlem. It was one of the nation's biggest civil rights events, led by Malcolm X himself. He did many important things. There's even a movie about him, which was made after his death and got 6 awards. Okay, struggles and obstacles. There were many hardships and challenges in his life. For one of them, he was a drug dealer for some part of his life. Another example is that he was also a burglar, breaking into people's homes and stealing from them. Or for another reason, he was in a foster home for most of his childhood. While I can't say if he had a good childhood, I can say that he became well known. so he came from a background of struggle. And then it says characteristics of Malcolm X, talking about how they viewed him. I would describe Malcolm X as very courageous and brave man for the things he has done. Not only did he go on after he was put in jail, but he evolved from a burglar and drug dealer into a Muslim minister. What led him to becoming those things was probably his childhood. He was in a foster home for most of his life, but look at him now. He is well known and gave a speech to Muslim people. Fun fact, he only met Martin Luther King Jr. once.
Miss Sousa,
Yes?
I didn't mean him, but where's the old person?
The old person. I don't know
Wait,
what that
go
means.
back to the first one. Yeah, him.
Him?
No, the one over right. Yeah, him.
Him? This is Richard B. Spikes. This is by Miss Jerisa Warren Lynch. She was one of my students. All right, the life of Richard B. Spikes. Okay, here we go. Richard Spikes' family history is nice. He was born in Dallas, Texas. He had a family of, he grew up with a family and had a family of his own. He had one child, and he grew up learning to cut hair at his father's barber shop. There's a photograph of him. Let's continue on. Sorry, these pages are kind of hard to turn. Go. His family was really productive. His dad is a barber, and two younger siblings were both musicians and songwriters. He was a jazz saxophonist who worked with Jelly Roll Morton, Kid Ory, and Sidley, I'm not sure if I know how to pronounce that, Sidley Poteet. Richards had one name, Richard Don Quixote Spikes. All right, so this tells everything that he's done. It says Richard has done a lot of things. He's invented and innovated in his life. He created railroad semaphore, automatic car washer. Ooh, so if you go to like Mike's Car Wash, he created that machine. Pretty cool. Automatic car washer, automobile directional signals, self-locking rack for billiard cues. And when he was creating all of that, he also worked in other jobs. He has many patents for his inventions and developed many things. He mostly made inventions for cars or automobiles. Pretty cool. All right. Keep going here. So again, these are all that sixth grade made. If you see one that you want me to read, go ahead and unmute and I'd be happy to pick it up.
Martin Luther King.
Luther King. Then go
Alrighty.
next to it.
Martin Luther King Jr. Here we go. We see him here. This is by Kenny Black, Miss Carruthers' class. Alrighty, Martin Luther King Jr. was born in Atlanta, Georgia. He had three other siblings like Christine King Ferris, A.D. King, and Don Clendon. Martin was the oldest two behind Christine. Was the second oldest, I apologize, I read that wrong. His grandparents lived with him. Growing up, Martin and his siblings' mother taught them how to play the piano. They were also guided on spiritual teachings by their dad and grandpa. They lived a good early life, but had to face much racism. His experiences. For 6 years, Martin Luther King Jr. was a pastor for Dexter Avenue King Memorial Baptist Church. It was the only church he was a pastor at. Martin also won a Nobel Peace Prize for leading nonviolent protest. Martin survived an assassination attempt and got stabbed, but barely survived. Martin helped stop racism because of his protests and speeches. I don't think I recognize that he had a original
Wait,
attempt
after
on his
Luther
life.
King Jr. got stabbed, or?
I didn't know that. I'll have to research that. That's new information to me. Martin Luther King Jr. is considered important because he helped African Americans out so much. He pretty much helped to end racism and stop segregation for a period of time. He played a big part in letting African Americans have equal rights. Even when it was hard, he still fought for our rights. This is why Martin Luther King Jr. is very important. And we see a photograph there of one of his protests. We shall overcome. All right. Okay, here we go. Continue on.
Is there a Jason Emmanuel Petty one?
No, but our exhibit is here. I printed it
Mr.
off.
T, Mr. T, Mr. T.
Mr. T, all right. Where did you see him at?
Oh, there isn't a Mr. T. I
Yeah,
thought that
let's say I
person
didn't see him.
was.
I was gonna say I didn't think I
Miss
saw him.
Sousa,
Now this is interesting to me. Yes.
can you go back to the pearl necklaces?
Uh-huh. The ones that the class created?
The first grade class curated.
Sure. Here you go. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah, I like the shoes.
The Converses, yep. So, yep, and here she is in her, in the Vogue that featured her after they won the election. She's wearing her Chuck Taylors and she's got a string of pearls on too.
We can't see her shoes.
They're kind of cut off there at the bottom. There you go.
No, we can see them.
All right. Howdy. Say hi, everybody.
Here's Mr. Kemper.
Oh, Mr. Kemper.
Oh, I forgot to tell them what you came in to tell them about propaganda.
What did I tell them?
You were going to talk to them about their presentation. You looked at it.
How incredible it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they did an amazing job. It looked like sixth graders had done it. You guys did an incredible job with your presentation. And check it out on the website. Have you guys seen it on the website yet?
I'm releasing that to them on
Okay,
Seesaw.
yeah, check it out on the website. It looks great, man.
Yep.
So
He came in to tell you guys that, but we were learning and I didn't stop and I forgot to tell you guys. So, all right, let's see. This one, I wanted to pick this one up. Meet Lonnie George Johnson. Okay, this was written by Libby Mabbitt in Shannon Harris's room. And he was holding, since all my boys
I
here,
didn't see him.
here he is.
I didn't see him. I love him.
All right. Lonnie Johnson was born in Mobile, Alabama on October 6, 1949. His parents were David and Arlene Johnson. Lonnie was one of 6 siblings. When they were growing up, they didn't have a lot of money. Their grandparents had a cotton farm. In the summer, Lonnie's parents would go out and pick cotton to sell. His mom was a nurse's aide as well. His dad was a World War II veteran, and he worked as a civilian driver for the Air Forces nearby. Okay. Lonnie was the only African American to enter a contest. He made a robot called the Lynx. That 4-foot-tall remote-controlled robot won him the science fair. He was the first African American to win that award. He built the robot out of junkyard scraps. It took him about 1 year to make this robot. Since Lonnie was black and everybody else was white, they didn't seem to like him. So when he won, the only thing he remembers was them saying, "Goodbye, y'all drive safe now." Oh, so because he entered the competition where it was all white, he didn't get a lot of congratulations when he won. People just said goodbye to him, even though he won. Wow, that's not cool. Not cool at all. Alrighty, so here we go. In Lonnie's last year of high school, it was 1969. He went on to Tuskegee University. In 1973, he got his Bachelor of Science degree in mechanical engineering. He also got his master's degree in nuclear engineering about 2 years later. After he graduated college in 1973, he joined the U.S. Air Force. He was the Strategic Air Command. Oh, no, I didn't read that right. Yeah, Air Command. Oh, in the Strategic Air Command. That's where they made the stealth bomber program. Lonnie also helped make that when he was in the Air Force, and he received a couple of awards. He received multiple awards at NASA for his great achievements and his system design. Wow, this guy made a lot of cool stuff. Ah, that's what he created. He invented the power drencher, so a water gun. His Super Soaker toy got over $200 million in sales. It was also one of the top 20 best-selling toys in the world. So when you play with a Super Soaker, you can thank this gentleman. Okay, pretty cool. And there is a picture of the prototype that he created before it got all the cool kid colors on them. Nice. All right. Let's take one more if someone wants it, and then we'll go look at the rest of these tables. One more. Does anybody want to see another one they like?
If you go to the top, there's a yellow one, and go right next to that. Not that
This?
one. No.
This?
More to the left.
Over here?
I saw a
Here?
yellow one somewhere that was right next to one, and I wanted to see that one.
Okay, I'll look for the ones that appear yellow. This one's yellow. Was it next to one of these?
No.
That one looks a little yellow.
Yes, that one. Right next.
So do you want this one?
Yes.
All right, Sadie Tanner. SEL. There we go. Okay, I got it. All righty. This is by Zachary Hill in Shannon Harris's room. All righty, here we go.
I want to be in her class.
Yeah, she's pretty great. All righty, early life. Sadie was born into a distinguished home in 1898. Her father left her mother, which left her mother and two siblings depressed. Her mother often left the children with other family members in Washington, D.C. when she had to do other things. After middle school, she went to high school in Washington, D.C. called Dunbar High School. She graduated in 1915 and then went to college.
How many years was that ago?
Let's see, 1898, so to 1998, and we're in 2021, so it's 21, 23. It's about 123 years ago was when she was born. Okay. Continue. After graduating high school, she got a scholarship to Howard University. Her mother told her not to go to Howard University and instead go to the University of Pennsylvania. Sadie took her mother's advice and went to the University of Pennsylvania, but she was treated badly there because of her race. Even though people treated her unfairly, she still graduated with a PhD and a Master's of Arts in Economics. She was the first Black woman to get that degree. During her college time, she joined a sorority called Delta Sigma Theta. Wow, very educated woman having a PhD and a Master's.
So,
Yes,
why am I not in the book?
I don't know. Right one, sir.
I'm Black.
You are. Contributions. Sadie helped put a stop to racial injustice and segregation. She worked on cases of employment inequality and became a city assistant solicitor for the city of Philadelphia from 1928 to 1930. She then formed a legal aid bureau to assist African Americans who were not wealthy and could not afford lawyers. She was also a secretary for the National Urban League from 1930 to 1957. She was ordered by U.S. President Harry Truman to join his Committee on Human Rights in 1947. So she was such a good lawyer that the President of the United States said, I need you to come work for me to help make fair opportunities for others. Obstacles. While going to school, Sadie was treated unfairly by teachers and other students. This could have made it hard for her to learn and graduate law school. Even though she was treated unfairly, she could have had her education limited because of her race. She overcame. When Sadie was trying to get a job, she was denied by many places until she continued to search and found Black-owned businesses that hired her. And isn't that crazy that she was so good at her job that the president wanted her to work, but just because people saw a different skin color, they wouldn't give her that opportunity.
Miss Sousa,
Yes.
that's funny because teachers don't usually make fun of kids
What do you mean make fun of kids?
because of their race.
You're right. So this was a very, very, very different time. And it was very common practice back then because it was so segregated. And because literally people were kept apart. We've talked about that a little bit, that the experiences were very different. Okay. Things I admire.
Or Martin Luther King.
So he was a big contributor to some change that happened. And there were many, many, many others, but he was definitely a big part. Okay. Things I admire. I admire Sadie because of how much she did for the world. She helped stop racial discrimination and segregation. She was ordered by the president to work on a committee. I also admire her accomplishments for being the first Black woman to get a master's in economics. She became the president of a sorority, and Sadie helped people who were poor afford lawyers. Here's her photograph. All right. Let's see, kiddos.
Can we take a look at the table but not read anymore?
902. Yes, so, and we still have 4 more tables to get to. You know what? This is important. I don't care that we're late. It's fine. All right, so here again, this is 6th grade's project. So that's how much, see all those? Woo! Those are all of the biographies. So we read, I think, like 5 or 6 of them, and then you guys can read more on the website alone later when I share that with you. Okay? All right, so here we go. There's no name on this, but this is a poster that someone created for Black History Month.
We
And
saw
then we
that.
see here. We did, yeah. This is from Kenneth, who is in Miss Horan's 1st grade classroom. So we see Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We see our, oh goodness, I almost dropped the computer, our Black Power Fest, Black History Month. And we see it looks like possibly a plate of food that perhaps is enjoyed by this student's family. Okay, all right. Then we get to Mr. Mejia's classroom. And again, there aren't descriptions out here, so I'm not exactly sure, but I can tell you that inside of each mural, it appears that a student has created a little figurine, like a little person. And they're on display here. So again, I'm sorry, I don't have a description of what's happening, but we do see their artwork here. Okay, and then here we go. I think I told you guys about this one. So just like if you were here last year, we did a large mural of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. We're going to start doing 1 mural per year. And this is the mural for this year that students in person came down and worked on. So you can see here we have the face of a woman. And then students added in the tissue paper to make the hair 3-dimensional. And then also the skin tone here. And then it was painted. And the quote is from Angela Davis: "I'm no longer accepting the things I cannot change. I'm changing the things I cannot accept." So that was worked on by the school, and then that will be hanging up just like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s is. Okay, and we see here, this is a neat project. This comes from Mrs. Ciriello's 5th grade class. So students were given half of a photograph, and then they drew in the other half of the photograph, and then they used the laser cutter here to create a quote from these people, from each one. So this is pretty cool. They drew in the other side of the face. We have Richard Greener, Charles Drew, Ghana Wharton, Harold Amos, Katherine Johnson, and then these are upside down, so I'll come over here. We also have,
Miss Musa, can you go back?
sure. Which one?
So can you go up and then over left?
This one?
That looks blended in a lot.
It does, yeah. You can tell they really worked on the art. The quotation says, "Amos was known for his work in animal cell culture, bacterial metabolism, and virology, specializing in cell metabolism, including its effects on gene expression." So he was a scientist working at the cellular level. There's a powerful brain right there. All right, we have more here. Chadwick Boseman. "The struggle along the way is meant to help shape your purpose."
You know who that is?
Of course I know who that is. Black Panther. Detective Arnold W. James. George Robert Carruthers. Garrett Morgan. Robert S. Duncanson. And then this one doesn't have a title. Okay. And then finally, this is our last piece that we haven't looked at. These are some of the in-person posters. The digital posters are on the website, but here are some of the in-person posters that were turned in.
On what website?
I am going to show it to you. All right, and then we see here, this is ours. So I printed off our Jason Emmanuel Petty website. So I've got each of your work there. Here's the biography group. Here's our life lessons. Here's our important lyrics group. Musical career. And then our photos and videos group. Obviously you can't watch the videos on paper, but you can on the website. And there we go. All right.
The important leaders group will put like 20 pages.
The photos and videos group, your photos and video group did. All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and hop out of here and head back to our room. And let's see. I think I'm doing that. I'm going to have you guys pull up your Seesaw. So if you kiddos, go to Seesaw. You have an activity that has been unlocked to you, and it's loading up here. Here we go. If you click on your
We should have 2 assignments.
that will refresh your feed. Well, yeah, we're supposed to be in reading right now, but we're not, so that's okay. Hi. So let's scroll down to Field Trip Black History Month Museum right there. If you click on the Indian Creek Explorers logo, that is a link that will take you to the live blurb artifacts on the direct. Take a few moments to look through all of your peers' hard work. Observe and notice the many examples of Black excellence displayed in the museum. Upload something explaining what you learned or found important. It can be a note, a video, a drawing, etc. And I have just made a decision. We're going to archive this activity right there, and we're going to focus on this because we worked hard on this for like 6 weeks, and it's important that we take time to celebrate it. Here we go. All right, now that I'm not around people here, okay, I am going to put you guys into some breakout rooms. And in your breakout rooms, you're going to get some time to explore the museum and share what you've learned, okay? So go ahead right now and click on that link on the Seesaw activity. It will open up the Indian Creek Black History Month Museum, and you will notice it is organized in 2 ways. Down here are the red buttons that can take you to each grade level. You can also go to the grade levels here on the left side, okay? If you go to 3rd grade, you will notice ours is right there up top. There's Ms. Sousa's class, and you can click through once it loads our presentation. And the videos are live on this since it's online. You can also notice our school mural. Okay, this is what was created by our school this year. You guys just saw that kind of in person. And then we have family videos here at the bottom. There was a link that was pushed out for family videos. If your family would like to record their experience, they can add a video here. But these are families that go to Indian Creek who have had some type of experience as a Black American, okay? So you can click through that and see those as well. All right, so I'm going to send you guys into some breakout rooms, and you are going to get to work with your group on exploring the Black History Month Museum. Okay, just exploring, making noticings. Hey, look what I found. This is really cool, and etc. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are all back. So here is the deal. You need to upload something here Here we go. Upload something explaining what you were found important. It can be a note, a video, a drawing, etc. Okay, so you're going to upload something that shows what you learned or found important. Justin, you accidentally clicked turn in and it was blank, so I deleted that so that you can upload something explaining what you learned or found important. Okay. So that is what you're going to work on. I know that a lot of you were very excited about this because I can see everything that you are searching for on your computers, and you guys are really invested in that website. So I would like to take the time to honor your time that you spent for 6 hard weeks of research by getting to enjoy this museum. Okay, this museum is extremely important, not only because of how hard you worked on it, but because of all of the excellence that it contains and all of the wonderful examples of Black Americans and our history that we need to learn and know about. So we are going to honor that with time today. Okay, if you guys missed it earlier, I made a decision. I deleted your reading lesson. We only have 15 minutes left on this Zoom. That's not enough time to get to that reading lesson, and that's okay. Sometimes in life, you've got to make some adjustments and take time to honor what is important and when more important things come up. And for today, it is very clear that you guys find Black History Month Museum to be much more important. So we will honor that with time, okay? So please, please, please continue exploring that museum. When you find something that you learned or something that you find to be important, upload on Seesaw and tell me what you found, okay? Tell me about why you think it is important or what you learned from it. All right, guys?